Hi, I'm Devin Townsend, and you're watching Chaos TV.
Hello, Devin. Welcome to Chaos TV again. So, how's your current Scandinavian tour being going?
It's good. It's only 5 shows. We all got sick, which was always what happens. And I've spent a good deal of time on this just thinking about the next record. So, it's been fun.
Okay, so you've been in Finland a couple of times and our different times a year. So how do you like the Finnish seasons?
I don't know. So far it's been gray or snow, so it reminds me of Canada.
Yeah, these places are quite similar, I presume. So you launched a pledge music campaign to raise money for the Casualties of Cool. And so how did you come up with the idea?
Oh, just to backtrack, I was in Helsinki once and it was very sunny. I just remembered that. So, all right. So how did I come up with the idea? I didn't. I had been given the opportunity to experiment with the pledge thing through interactions with the fan base too. I was like, well, should we try this? Is this something that is worth pursuing? And then the management asked me if I would consider doing it, and I was hesitant at first because I think a lot of times the impression that it gives people is that if you make a bunch of money on pledge, is that you're just going to put it into your pocket, which is not what happens. You know, it's the money that we're making off of pledge goes completely back into this. And it allows me to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do in other ways, like a movie or a comic book or a DVD or more records and things like this. And the money that we make from standard record deals it doesn't exist really. So this just allows us to really continue. And it's been pretty successful, and it's made me think a lot, and I haven't actually put my thoughts together yet. So maybe next time we talk, I'll have a much more definite answer of how I feel, but it's humbling.
So I understood, that you raised quite a lot above the limit that you set to yourself. Yeah. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the fan base and the whole process?
Well, I spend so much time thinking that no one listens, and it allows me to be very precise in my ability to express myself. If you don't feel like anybody is paying attention, you can say whatever you want. And that's been how come my music has been important to me, because it isn't paying attention to other people. So it's two things. On one hand, it really puts into perspective the fact that there are other human beings that are participating in this. And that gives me a feeling of responsibility, I guess, to make use of that money in a way that is going to benefit not only the music but the audience too. You know, I'm not looking for a handout. I'm not looking for people to fund my life. I'm looking for people to show interest enough in what my life produces that we can continue to do it. And so having it over and above has forced me to confront the fact that there are people that listen, and I'm not on my own working in my bedroom or whatever, and I think the result of that will be really interesting. Very appreciative, you know.
Great. So we've heard that the excess money that you raised that you're going to use to your next album, the Sildoid album. So do you feel that the money has any influence on the product that you will develop?
Well, yeah, it always does. I mean, money is horrible in so many ways. It's just this disgusting reality at this stage of humanity, right? So, and I need it, and you need it, and we all need it. So there's that. But it influences Ziltoid. I guess the most basic way is that up to this point we had enough money to do the record without the strings and choir and a video, and maybe get new cases for our gear, which is all falling apart. But now we can do the comic book, we can do a documentary, we can make the show with the puppets and new visuals and like props on stage, and we can get the new cases, and we can do a lot of things that allow the vision to be complete in ways that if we hadn't have done this, it wouldn't have been. I mean, we still would have done it, but I remember when we did Tuska a few years ago, I mean, it was just me with a sock puppet and my laptop, right? And that's, as charming as that may be, or not, it's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a show. It's supposed to be a spectacle. And the type of music I do, I mean, there's not a lot of people that are willing to give an artist like me money in order to fund that. So having the audience do it lets it be what it's supposed to be. I guess that's the easiest way to say it.
Well, looking back and thinking about your long career, has money, like, do you feel that lack of money has made difference to your previous records? Like, do you look back and feel like, I wish I've done something differently. I wanted to have something in there, but I didn't. So
yeah. I've released so much just to stay alive, essentially, you know, so I didn't have to go work construction or something. I had to release a record every 6 months because my records never really sell a whole lot. So in order just to kind of get from one record to the next, I've had to just be quick. And I think that I'm very proud of all of them, really. But that pace is ultimately going to result in repeating yourself. And what my goals are, I think, with the new Ziltoid and with everything, is to find a way to generate enough money to pay the band, pay off the debts, you know, get the new show, pay off all the things that need to be paid for, and then spend longer writing, you know. And it's the chaos of the past has allowed me to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do without that chaos. But I'm getting older now, and that level of chaos doesn't result in the same thing anymore. Now it results in me just being sick all the time. And so I need to hopefully generate money in the future just to kind of really make sure that what I do is I mean, it took me 4 years to do Casualties of Cool. And I mean, I'd love it if I could work at that pace, because then it's correct. And I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night sweating, thinking about this and that and the other thing. I can let it evolve when it wants to evolve. I mean, that's a goal, but I also realize how lucky I am. I mean, man, I'm so lucky. I get to do these things. I mean, here's me saying, oh, I'd love to spend more time making records, but I get to make records. How many people would love to do what I do? So many people. So I don't want to come across as being unappreciative, but what money, hopefully, if we ever made enough to really, you know, sustain ourselves long term and not just make the project what it's supposed to be, I would love to spend more time doing it. You know, it's so frantic all the time, man. Yeah. Okay,
so usually people have a vision about musicians and artists that like personal problems, financial problems, troubles in your life create art. So how does like being financially in a good position, you know, change that situation? How do you feel in your case that would be?
Well, I'm not really in a good position personally. I mean, I'm okay. You know, I make enough each month, like I'm on a salary, and that keeps me, you know, my bills paid and kids in school and everything. But we don't make more than the salary. It's like all the money goes into an account that is distributed for everything. So everybody's on a salary in the band, including me, and then excess money goes into a bank account that we take. Say if we have to go on tour and we have to buy plane tickets from Canada and it's $6,000 or something, it comes from that. And if we have, you know, like I made a puppet and it cost me X amount of dollars, it comes from that. You know, technically, if we wanted to stop right now, I could take that bank account, which is not probably as much as people would think, under 100,000, I would say, for the band account. I could take that, and how long would that last, somebody? But we've got 5 people on salary, so each month it's, 12 grand, I guess, for all of us. And I think that, I mean, shit, dude, like 12 grand, and that's not including the production of merchandise. It's not including the plane tickets and all these things. But of course, when you tour, you get money from playing, and if you're lucky, you get money from merchandise. So it's this weird sort of scenario where it's you've got your own thing to keep you alive, and then you've got the account that it sort of goes like this and this. And now that we've got the pledge thing, we got more. But because of the Ziltoid thing, it's like we've got to take a bunch of that out to do the comic books and all this sort of stuff, and pay the artists and all this. So I feel in my life that I don't have to worry about paying my rent right now, which is great. But how long will that last? I mean, shit. Even if we took everything out right now, and and the band broke up and all that stuff, I mean, we'd be able to last for maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
So it's not a real sense of like security.
Right.
But at the same time, I think it's also fair to say that, yeah, my world when I was younger was completely broke, making $300 a month or something, and that did manifest in some things at the time. But if that happened to me now, it wouldn't come out as music.
Okay.
It would come out as panic.
Okay.
I mean, I've got kids. I've got a ton of shit. I've got aging parents. I've got a ton of things in my life that if I didn't have like just my rent paid at this point, I certainly wouldn't go to my bedroom and write an angry song. I'd try and make sure that we could get food for the kid and fucking.
Yeah.
It's like as you get older, your reaction to those things is just much different. Some people think, oh, okay, well, just get rid of everything you have and then you'll write strapping again. I was like, no, man, I'd go work building houses because you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
responsibilities.
Yeah.
In a different way when you're young.
Plus, you run out of fuel as you get older. Like, there's only so many records you can write about things, and I don't like repeating myself.
Right.
I don't even like repeating myself to my friends or to musicians. If I say to somebody, hey, the fill goes like this on the drums, if I have to say it again and again and again, I just get pissed off.
Right.
And it's the same thing with music. If I'm like, hey, I'm really pissed off, here's a record about it. And then I say, hey, I'm still pissed off, here's a record about it. I mean, I run out of gas, right?
So you have to find something new, and then that's not it.
Otherwise, that just doesn't interest me, right?
Right. So how about the Ziltoid TV show?
It started as something that I thought was going to be every week, and then I realized that it gets really boring really quick. So we've got 3 episodes that are awesome, and they're going to be like coming up to where the record is, like advertisement for the record. But I don't think I'm going to have too much energy or interest in making ZTV like a big thing, right?
Okay, and so what about the new album, Casualties of Cool? It will be released on May 14th, and
I didn't know that.
So something new for you. Do you stress at all? How do you feel about this? It coming out?
I don't stress about it. I've got enough other things to stress about. Casualties of Cool is a record that's very important to me because it represents a lot about the process that I've gone through in order to get to where I am at. And I think that musically it's going to confuse a lot of people. And I think that in some cases it's going to make people just be like, what the hell is this? But it's really important to me, and I hope that people hear it for what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be something that is not bombastic. It's not Epicloud. It's not this in-your-face statement. It's this background thing that's about where I'm at in life, and I'm not trying to make any excuses for it at all. It's exactly what I wanted to say, and it took me years to make it. But if you're expecting Ziltoid or Epicloud or something, I mean, you're going to be very disappointed. But if you're wanting something that's quiet and subtle and very creepy and says exactly, like if someone say, who are you right now, to say that.
Great. Well said. Well said. So, well, thank you for this interview, and best of luck for the future and the show for today. And is there anything you want to say to the Finnish fans before we close down?
Well, it's what do I say to the Finnish fans? I mean, like Finland, we had a real big sort of spike there with the Ziltoid thing, and it was really cool, right? The only thing I would ask from the Finnish fans is the same thing that I ask from people everywhere else. It's I'm not in control of where things go. I really am not. I follow where the dreams and the thoughts and the creative impulses lead me, and it's going to lead me to places that are very peculiar for some people. But just know that whatever I do, it's because I have no choice. I mean, I'd love to make pop records because the label wants me to make pop records. I'd love to make crazy metal because metal fans want me to make crazy metal, but I make what I feel I have to make, and I have no excuse for that, or apologies.
Great. Well, we'll wait for the end product, and thank you for this interview.
Thank you again, man. It's good to see you.
Thank you.